to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Thank you for coming on the show today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Okay, so tell us all about your business.
So we have a property management company. Well, first of all, we just started a property management company called Valleywide Homes Property Management. I've been in the industry for a little over 30 years. We have a real estate division called ERA Valleywide Homes, and then we have a mortgage division called Valleywide Homes. And then the property management company, we're super excited, is the latest addition to the Valleywide family.
So is it a one-stop shop if you need the loan, the house, and figure out how to get that, we just come to you?
Absolutely, and a little counseling along the way, because I honestly think that what we do is really an exercise in human nature and some counseling with a little dose of real estate and property management thrown in.
That is so cool, because I know a lot of people are very narrow-minded. There's like, we just do this, we just do I know there's so many things. So, you know, some people just do residential, some people do commercial.
It's multifaceted.
And
yeah,
some
absolutely.
people don't do rentals at all. So
Right.
I'm really excited
Right.
about this. So tell us the different elements. At what point do we come to you?
Well, really, at any point, if you have a property that you need managed, and really simply, you know, there are a lot of owner managers, meaning they manage their own rentals that they have. So it's an investment property for them. And they need someone to oversee the property, to make sure the condition is, you know, up to snuff, to screen tenants and make recommendations as far as putting tenants in the property after we've marketed the property. And so really it's from beginning to end that we oversee that property for the homeowner. And help to make sure that we protect their investment. I think that's probably the biggest thing and the most important thing. We do take a lot of stress off of their plate because there's a lot involved as far as property management is concerned, and let's say, and a lot of layers. So let's say that the property is also eligible for Section 8 tenants. Well, that's another layer, and we communicate between the homeowner, the owner of the property, and Section 8. So there's a lot that we can take off of their plate, and that's the biggest thing. Is a lot of people say, oh, I can do that, that's super, super easy, but when they really, really get down to it, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot of layers to the onion.
And what about people that want to turn their place into a B&B? Mm-hmm. So you help with that? We
absolutely can help with that. That would be considered a short-term rental, and we specialize in long-term rentals, but we absolutely can help as far as short-term rentals are concerned.
And so you've talked a lot about the people that have them. What about the people that want to rent?
The people that want to rent properties?
Want to rent the property and they're just looking because
absolutely.
You have a huge resource.
We take care of all the screening as far as tenants are concerned. We make sure that it is a right fit as far as the landlord is concerned, and we oversee all of that for them.
And then, so let's say it is like a property rental. Are you the person that takes the money? Are you the middleman of that? Or
we are absolutely. So we take all those monies in trust. We collect rents, and then we disperse at the end of the month, basically the profit that goes to the landlord. So really, and I don't want to oversimplify it because there's a lot of facets to it, but we basically all they have to do is collect the check.
Wow.
Yep. Now there is some interaction along the way, depending upon, you know, if there's issues as far as the property is concerned, or if there's repairs that need to be completed. Obviously, we have to get authorization from the property owner, but really, we want to be able to take that stress off of the owner's plate, and we do that for them for a fee on a monthly basis.
That sounds great. And then, okay, so what about purchasing property?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So myself and all my partners, Norman Schendel and Robert Clark, we are all licensed realtors. I'm a real estate broker, and it's my broker's license, so I'm responsible for oversight. But we can all help as far as finding, whether it's a primary residence, a second home, or an investment property. We can help with all that.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's awesome. And then there's 3 of you guys that are partners?
Mm-hmm.
Explain
Absolutely.
how that works. How did you guys all come together?
Well, all 3 of us have known each other for quite some time in one way, shape, or form. And I came across Norm probably about 12 years ago. And Norm approached me, I would say a little less than a year ago, and said, hey, what do you think about opening a property management company? And with Robert, and we sat down, and we all, you know, our personalities jive, and because you've got to know, like, and trust people that you're going to go into business with, and so it's a good fit. It's a very, very good fit.
So who does what out of the three of you? Who's,
honestly,
I know you guys do everything, but I'm sure there's one person that does this.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. So because there are so many facets to it, and then we also have the real estate side of things that we all are involved in. I handle mainly licensing and compliance and auditory stuff. That we take care of on an annual basis. Norm is our property manager extraordinaire. He is extremely experienced. He's been doing this for a number of years, over a decade. And then Robert helps in a lot of different areas. Marketing, I would say, is the biggest thing that he helps with.
So what if someone moves here and they're like, okay, I want this kind of house, I want this house built. It's going to help them with that, with getting their house. And then it's going to take a year. And then they're like, okay, well, where can I rent? What kind of property can I have in the meantime?
Right.
Can you help with that?
Oh, absolutely. So let's say it's a situation that they're not ready to buy for whatever reason,
or the house isn't ready or something.
Yeah, maybe they're having something built custom. We can absolutely help with that as far as placement's concerned. Finding them the right house that fits their situation, as long as we have that in inventory right at the moment.
And then I've had this one realtor, and he was the one, they were really good at helping people. He said, no matter what your credit situation is, we can get you a house at some point. But sometimes it took like a year or two for them to build it. So are you the kind of person to go to for that, or is that too?
Oh, absolutely. So what we do is, and you'd be amazed, really, Sparkle, you'd be amazed, because not everyone that we sit down with initially is ready to go. And I would say, after the market crash, after 2007, I would say it was upwards of 65–70% of the people that we would sit with were not ready for whatever reason, but credit was the most common reason. I would say now it's probably about 50-50. The biggest issue is they would have the sufficient credit and income, but they wouldn't have sufficient cash saved for down payment, closing costs, and prepaids.
It's usually one or the other. It's
absolutely.
Like fall short on a little bit.
Absolutely. So what we do is we help create a credit game plan, whether that's saving additional cash, whether it's getting them prepared for down payment assistance, because down payment assistance programs do require income as well as credit requirements. And it's typically a little higher requirement because they're lending not only the money for the first mortgage, but then above and beyond that, the money that would come from the buyer, their down payment and closing costs and prepaids.
What's going on with that? Because a lot of things have changed this year, or the last year or two on that. Because I had some friends that were never going to buy a house, or all of a sudden are buying a house, and they said something like that's what they were doing, and they found the different programs, and that's what opened it up, and then all of a sudden they're in a nice brand new house.
Absolutely. So there's a number of different down payment assistance programs. There's a greater focus, I would say, in the entire state of California as far as down payment assistance concerned, because creating affordable opportunities for housing is really rare. And so helping to get people in, and there's a lot of entities out there, depending upon the program and depending upon what the borrower's income is. And there's certain requirements. Some programs are really targeted towards people that fall below 100% of the area median income, and that would be considered average income for the area. And then there's other programs that target 80% of the area median income, meaning that it's a lower income program. And I only mean lower income from the standpoint that it's capped. You cannot make over that threshold on an annual basis, otherwise you don't qualify for that particular program. And so what we've seen is there's far more programs that are out there that are available. As a matter of fact, we're having a meeting it's a sales meeting with our agents to focus on one of the topics is down payment assistance and making sure that agents understand that this is out there. So if it's a situation that their client may have two of the three, may have credit, may have the income, but they're short as far as the cash is concerned, that we focus on that and making sure that they understand that there are opportunities that are out there for them.
What if they have the down payment and the great credit, but not a stable income to show? Is that a bad situation to be in?
Well, you have to meet all three. You absolutely have to meet all three. So it's a matter of educating the consumer as to what they've got to do to put themselves in that situation. So
usually you can find a solution to the problem with most
absolutely.
people.
It's just a matter of how much time do they have.
Okay.
Right?
That's what it comes down to?
Absolutely. And the most rewarding situations, I would say for us, is those clients that we get together and it's 18 months to 2 years, and really they're the ones that have to do all the work. We sit back and set the game plan for them, set the map that they have to follow. And then over time, hopefully and check in with them obviously, but that they do the things that they need to do in order to put themselves into that position. And the crazy thing is, not everybody is willing to do the work.
Because it takes time.
Because it takes time.
It could take a couple of years at that point.
Well, it's almost like, I mean, I have ADHD, and it's almost like people are just bouncing off the wall, like they want it right now, and it doesn't always happen that way.
It is hard to have that patience.
You know, it's like the saying, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Very true, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do you guys offer, because I had this one time back in the day in Glendale, a rental it was a lease with an option to buy. Do you guys offer those?
So lease option purchases they're rare or common depending upon market conditions. And usually it's something that's very, very specific to the property, meaning that the property might be non-conforming to the point where it's or an odd situation where it may not conform to lending guidelines. And a lease option is basically the owner is, or even could be a situation where the owner's asking thinks that the property is worth more than what market would garner. And so that what they're really hoping to try to do, and this is common, is that they're going to ask, let's say, $330,000 as far as the lease option is concerned, but really right now it's only worth $300,000, and they're hoping in the period of time that the buyer or the lessee has the opportunity to execute on that lease, that the property will appreciate, that they'll make more money down the road because that price is locked in at inception as far as executing on that agreement. So lease options, I think personally, are very, very rare because there's got to be some reason, like why, if I were to ask you, well, why don't you want to sell your property? Why would you want to lease option? There's a reason. It could be a tax reason. It could be the property isn't worth what they're wanting for it right at the moment, and they're wanting to they're hopefully put it off down the road in hopes that it will be worth more. Or maybe it's a situation that it's a family member and they're willing to lease option it to a family member because they're wanting to give them an opportunity because that family member, let's say, doesn't have the credit income or cash to close at that time. So there's a number of different reasons, but I would say if it's a situation where the market dynamics are such that inventory is fairly low, which that's what we've experienced literally the last 3 to 4 years, there's no reason why somebody wouldn't want to sell, and it's very, very rare, especially with as much competition, inventory being low, mortgage rates being as low for as long as they were. It's very rare that they wouldn't just sell that property, right, unless there's something unique or something funky that's going on. Why would they want to put that off at some point?
Well, speaking of that, like you said, it was low. So what's the interest rates now? Well,
it's a really good question, and it really depends upon everybody's circumstance. So starting in February of last year, we had experienced a prolonged period of time where interest rates were super, super low. And to be quite honest, in my 30 years of being in the industry, I had never seen mortgage rates. I had seen them close back early 2000s, but I had never seen them that low. And the reason is because the federal government was purchasing mortgage-backed securities and bonds by the trillions of dollars in order to artificially keep mortgage rates low. Well, in February of last year, they stopped. And that's considered quantitative easing. And what we saw was mortgage rates jump. And sorry for the explanation behind that, but yes, they did jump, and they went up to, I would say, in the highest that we saw them third quarter of 2022, beginning of fourth quarter 2022, they were between 7 and 7.5. Now what we have seen is as inflation declines, mortgage rates follow. Mortgage rates always follow the same, always follow inflation. So as inflation goes up, mortgage rates go up. As inflation goes down, mortgage rates goes down. And so right at the moment, it depends upon the circumstance, but with FHA financing, and it's all based upon credit score. So the better credit score that you have, the better rate that you're going to get. FHA financing through the Department of Housing and Urban Development, right at the moment, if you've got a great credit score over 700, it's probably 5 3/4, 5 5/8. But if your credit score is high, we can actually lend all the way down to a 580 mid-credit score, which is very, very general or very liberal. You're probably looking at an interest rate of 6.5, 6 3/4. Conventional financing, owner-occupied, you're probably looking at 6 1/4, 6.5 in that range. And then investment financing. I just priced out an investment property and a second home. And a second home would be like Shaver Lake, Bass Lake, something that's not your primary residence where you go on vacation.
Right.
Around 6.5. So interest rates have come down. And what we have also seen is that a lot of buyers have come into the market that had really either said, I'm going to wait because rates are too high, or now's the time. And I really do believe, and I'm not just saying that, because we do a lot of social media work, and some buyers, or some people, they kind of troll and say, the rates are just, of course you're going to say that now's a good time to buy because you're in sales. I don't sell anything, I educate. And really when it comes right down to it, you be the judge, because as interest rates come down, it's going to create a vacuum that is going to bring more buyers back in the market, that's going to create more demand, that's going to put that's really going to gobble up some inventory, which is going to make it even more competitive. And that's what date the rate, marry the home, for anyone that's looking to purchase right at the moment. Because as rates come down, you want to be there to refi and not worry about competition. Now there's a little less competition. I would say competition has picked up pretty dramatically, from third quarter, fourth quarter this last year, but now is an amazing time to buy because there still is not as much competition as there will be. And the experts, and when I say the experts, people way smarter than me, are saying that third quarter, fourth quarter of this year is when we're going to see rates down around, even Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are predicting rates to be down around 5%, which is massive. We'll never get back down to the 3s or the 2s even, unless the federal government gets involved again, unless they believe that there's some value for them getting involved in purchasing mortgage-backed securities and bonds.
So it is a better time to buy a house now instead of 2 years from now?
Absolutely, and that's not a sales pitch. It's a fact. I mean, it really is a fact, because as rates drop, competition will increase. And when do you want to be there? When the tide is rising, or when,
So when you said about you can refi later, worry about that later, does that mean you can make your interests go lower when you refi?
Absolutely.
So that's why you don't want to be all...
As long as you can afford, exactly. So focused on the interest rate, because so many people says,
Right.
I'm going to wait until the market crashes, or I'm going to wait until mortgage rates get back down to 3 again. Number one, the market is not going to crash because inventory is too low. There's counties nationwide where inventory is a huge, huge problem. And so inventory isn't all of a sudden just going to come available. And there's more people nowadays with mortgage rates that they got a loan when rates were low, and they're holding on to that mortgage because they don't want to pay more. And so there's less people that are letting go of those homes. Why would you want to sell your house if you like it right at the moment? Why would you want to sell if you've got a 2.5% interest rate on a 30-year fixed? Zero motivation.
Right.
You can live with it. Because what's the alternative? You're going to have a 6% interest rate on your next primary residence? And what does that do as far as the payment's concerned? And most people talk themselves out of it before they even get started.
Wow. What does separate you guys from other real estate companies?
I would say the breadth of our experience. I mean, I really do. I've got 30 plus years in the industry. Norm and Robert have, I would say, about 25 years collective experience in the industry. We're very, very different individuals, but we get along amazingly well, and we try really, really hard. So,
do you think in the Valley it gets a little oversaturated? There's a lot of newbies and a lot of new people that are just all...
I think that's like anything else. My dad was a farmer, and he said that the good old American farmer will do a great job of trying to put themselves out of business. And I used to wonder, what in the world do you mean by that? And I had him explain it to me one day when I was old enough, and he said, well, here's the reason, son, is because whatever commodity they decide to put in the ground, if it becomes a hot commodity, well, next thing you know, everybody's planting it. Well, what does that do as far as supply is concerned? It increases supply to the point where there's too much of it. And then all of a sudden the price begins to decline. Same thing here as far as housing. It's simple economics. It's the same thing. So, yeah, there's a lot of agents. At one point we had about 5,500 agents in our association, and that's just in Fresno County. And now it's declined, and there are a lot of agents that are not renewing their license or not paying their dues and kind of parking their license because it's hard. It's absolutely hard.
A lot of work.
You got to work. You've got to be organized. You've got to try. You know, and that's one of the things with my agents. I've got 21 agents that work for me, and you have to show up. And it's not that hard because most won't. It really isn't. You just have to outwork them.
Well said. So where do we get a hold of you guys if we want? Because you seem great for information. Like you're really willing to sit with anybody that's interested. So how do we get a hold of you guys?
That's the most important thing, real quick, is we just want to be a great resource. Our job is to educate, no matter what it is, whether it's real estate, whether it's property management, whether it's mortgages. Our job is to educate. The rest takes care of itself. You can find us online at vwhpm.com, and it's an acronym for Valley Wide Homes Property Management.com. Or you can call us directly at 559-349-1950.
And is Valley Wide the umbrella you guys are on? What's the difference between ERA? What's the difference between
that? ERA is my real estate company. So we are a franchise with ERA. And ERA is a 50-year-old company that's been around. I just purchased the ERA franchise back beginning of the year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, super exciting. We've got a big umbrella, meaning that the parent company is called Anywhere, and Anywhere owns Century 21, Better Homes and Gardens, Barbara Corcoran's former company, and there's a few other companies. Coldwell Banker is another one in there, and ERA. And so we've got a phenomenal company that backs us and has a lot of money, and spend a lot of money on technology and so forth. So we're very fortunate.
Thank you so much for coming on my show
Thank
today.
you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
I think it is so cool what you do. You're young, you're out there, and you're making a really big difference. Tell our viewers what you do.
So I am the Design and Communications Coordinator for the AIMS Center. And essentially our mission is to make STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, just more fun and hands-on approaches. So I guess in the classroom, like everybody's favorite subject was recess. And we want that to be the math and science. Like it's not just numbers and math anxiety of the math facts. It can be games and robot coding, and that can start as early as infancy, really.
What's happened like with our society going in the direction, and it's so great that it's going this direction where you actually care about whether or not we enjoy learning this, because I was one of those girls, did not have the math and science brain. I'm great at quick math now, but the grades didn't show. So why did a lot of us growing up in the 90s, whatnot, I feel like we were set up to fail in a way? And like, why has it changed, and how has it changed?
So, I mean, we are in the process of making it change a little more, hopefully, but I think a lot of it is we are a society based on numbers. So grades matter. If you flunk a test, automatically you're bad at it. Or, I mean, for instance, even in just a general way, like social media, if you don't have that number of followers, like you kind of base your worth on those things. And so I suppose as a society, we're moving more towards the creative side of things, and your, I guess the word would be output into things is how it affects other people. I forgot your original question, but essentially I think that we're moving more towards the innovative and individualism rather than having all these just numbers. It has to mean something. So although women only make up less than 30% of the STEM workforce right now, which is surprisingly going,
that's not
it's
bad.
Increasingly.
That's actually not bad.
So the numbers definitely increased, but I think that's one of the reasons that they have gotten into it, because there's so many more opportunities. Like that STEM category just expanded. So now you have that digital age of, like, it means marketing and like SEO or search engine optimization kind of thing. Like you promote yourself and you know numbers. So it's just the idea of it is changing, which I think is helping people be more open-minded to it.
Well, when I was nannying for this really extremely intelligent child, and he was building robots, he was doing all this stuff. You know, no one ever told me, you know, when I was a child, hey, Sparkle, like, you want to build a robot, so you want to do this? These were things that did not even exist. As like, you know, maybe I was good at that. Maybe I would have, maybe I would have like excelled at all these things, and I didn't even have like an opportunity. No one even like put me in a position or situation. So how did we move from that, and where's the direction now? Now that you're really in it, what do you see happening?
So personally, my worst subjects was math and science.
Okay, so you had a little bit of my experience. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, I mean, I would still say that like math and science, when I think traditionally, not my thing, but because there are so many different, like you have these ideas of robots, but you don't have to take it to such an extreme, like even just using your phone or your iPad and learning those basics to be introduced to that. I think just really opened those doors to all these different avenues that you could go in. And so just promoting that innovation piece is where our workforce is really growing. So like Silicon Valley is obviously huge and everybody knows that. But yeah, just a lot more doors are opening because of that.
Well, I'm so glad you said that. So you struggled with the subject as well. So how did you get to this point where, like, you know, that wasn't your best and now this is your job? So how did all this come about?
So I actually started working at Ames as a student worker or work study, and I was doing administrative things and eventually was asked to make a flyer. And so I was really interested in graphic design because of that one moment. And I didn't really realize graphic design takes a lot of math. And so just figuring out like symmetry, or like you need to have certain angles, and just like aesthetics has a huge thing to do with mathematics. So I kind of fell into, I suppose graphic design is a STEM related field, which is technology. And so that's just kind of, I fell into it and without even realizing, and I support their mission because they made it more fun. So just redefining what STEM really meant to me. Again, if I think back to like high school or elementary, math and science just, it makes me cringe. Like I didn't love it at all.
No, so we're on the same, wow. So I'm so glad that this is happening. So what are the changes? How long have you been working there?
7 years. Yeah.
You look so young, not an
No. I started when I was 20, so it was a college job.
Since you've been there, what have you seen changes, and how have you seen a change in the students?
Yeah, so I guess a big thing was just how we introduced it to kids. So rather than going through the schools, really entering their world through their parents or where they are in the community. So say church groups where they're more comfortable with. And so a way to engage them is just by hands-on learning. So rather than pen to paper, we try to use simple materials from home. So like paper towel rolls, tape, glue, paper, like easily accessible things to create, say like a robot you could easily do with, you know, like the potato and the battery. I don't know if you ever did that, but so just changing that approach and starting within the home so it doesn't feel like it's work and it's more play is a better way to create those memories within the child and makes them more interested in it. So I think even as adults, if you're more invested in something and you have fun, like you want to continue doing that. So just having that at-home learning experience and surrounding them in a happy environment rather than you're doing this so that you get this result. It's more focusing on the process. So I guess starting with like, we have a 3-year partnership right now, so I've seen these little kids go from transitional kindergarten, now they're in, 2nd, 3rd grade, and you just see like, I guess the growth of them, not only, it's so weird watching kids grow up, but just they enjoy it. Like they don't see it as math or science. It's like, this is playtime.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you said that about the paper towel rolls and everything, because I think, and I was even looking, like I said when I was nannying that child, about getting the robot toys, and they're very expensive to do so. So it's like, I know some people would think, oh, well, like science school or a science camp, expensive, it's for the rich or whatever, but this is anybody with any socioeconomic group can really get involved in this.
Yeah, and we want to make it equitable. So science and math, it's not just again, technology can be the robots and the coding, but coding is as simple as associating a number to a letter, like at that very basic level, and then moving from, if it's in your household, it's easy to do again and again, and again, it's based on the process. So we want you to learn from your mistakes. Don't be discouraged by them, but really, we want to also involve the family because everybody can learn together, and that's a good experience just as far as social skills. So really anyone at home, it doesn't matter what materials you have. Like you don't even have to have materials. Simple as yoga or like teaching them spatial, like this is over there, let's play hide and seek. Yeah, so it's really in everything. And as I started working there, you start to identify that. Yeah.
That's so cool. What's your long-term goal with all of this? What would you like to see happen?
Oh man, that's like when people ask you what you want to do after high school. Ideally, I suppose I really love my job as far as creating like these different experiences or activities for kids. Oh man, I don't know. I don't have that figured out yet. I kind of like to see where all of this is going, and wherever we can support that, I guess, is where I follow. But
well, you're a lot like your mom. So your mom is really great in the community, director of CASA. I know you help her a lot of her events. So do you think some of that rubbed off on you?
So I've learned that math is like in all party planning. Like figuring out how much food to give people is probably the thing that I would have the hardest time with. But yeah, no, I can see like graphic design goes anywhere. So supporting any community work is really where my heart is. So,
and that's what it seems like you're doing. You're really doing a lot of community work within the STEM program.
No, I like to see growth, I suppose, not only in myself, but in others. Again, when you start seeing this child really excel in a field that they didn't even know was a field or didn't like at first, it's really satisfying. But yeah, I think community work is probably, that's a good point. My community work is probably where I'll end up at.
And so where do you see it going, like with women? You said, we have bumped up to 30%, which I think is a great number. And you got a job in there. Are they trying to give more jobs to women? Like, where do you see the future in that?
So yes, because I think opportunities are out there and expanding, especially with all the different things going on. But it's really hard. So as a woman, we don't have too many idols or mentors in that field quite yet. Like one of the things that I don't love hearing is when people say, oh, she's really good at so-and-so for a girl. Like, I don't think that men should necessarily be the standard, but I think it's just hard when you don't see like your mom grew up as this, or you usually follow in your parents' footsteps because that's what you were introduced to. So just introducing that to them at an early age, I think opens doors. And whatever you graduate with isn't always what you end up doing in your life, but just having that, I guess, your eyes open to all the different possibilities out there. But I think that women are making their way in, especially in the coding or computer science is really expanding right now. So women are definitely, we're getting up there.
And then within this program, it's just for children?
Yeah, so essentially 0 through high school is what we're focusing on.
Okay, cool. So it goes up to high school.
Yeah.
So do you guys help people when they're trying to figure out their major and stuff? Because, I mean, like if I was going to go redo college or get another degree, I'd be like, I still would be all terrified to go into any of those fields because I still have the old school way of thinking that. Has it come a long way and you guys were like, oh no, this wasn't your strong subject, we can make this stronger and then you can go into computer science? Because I mean, that to me is just like, oh my goodness, do you guys help mentor in that sort of way?
So it's always easiest to, I suppose, influence when they're younger, but when they're older, we do try to introduce like that coding idea. So like, yeah, this is really cool, but there's not too many other opportunities to like invest yourself into those other ideas. Like as far as resources wise, I mean, we could support as best as we can, but I mean, you open that door and then it's like, you're kind of on your own from there, which is hard. So we're definitely trying to increase curriculum as far as in that regard for high school. But again, just allowing them to see like, this is what you could do. Like, it's not so far and as hard as you thought it would be. So it's really just investing in yourself and again, just showing them like, this is cool, like you can do it. It's not what you see on TV where it's just like robots, like it's applicable, yeah.
And do you guys also help a little bit? I know you said you focus on the children, but it does go up about what colleges even offer or what programs. So sometimes you don't even have to go, you can just go to an actual program straight into like a trade school or something for that. Do you guys kind of give a little bit of that guidance so that they know?
So we're more based on the, I guess, introduction stage of it. So as far as guidance, not so much, but we just want to, I guess, open that door for you. So a lot of the community organizations we work with will help them kind of follow through with those things, like help them guide them through those resources. But we just want to have that platform or give them that environment and the materials and whatever they felt was hindering them beforehand to like do these different things.
That is so great. You're so inspirational, girl.
Why, thank you.
So where can we get involved? Where can we follow and see what you guys are doing and learning and where, if someone wants to get a job there, how do we get involved in all of this?
So AIMS Center, AIMScenter.org, and we have different career opportunities or scholarships, which is always great for STEM-related fields, and resources, free resources that are in both Spanish and English.
Oh, love that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you have like where people could follow or ask you a question directly? Do you have like a website, email, or Facebook or Instagram that people can ask you? Because you seem like such a great resource. Not like you want to be flooded. My people are really cool that watch. If people are really interested, they ask.
Yeah, sure. So my email is Kylene, Kylene, again at aimscenter.org. Please contact me because that means that people are interested in STEM and that's super exciting.
Oh, I'm so glad you're so willing to like tell everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today.
Of course. I wish I had your job, to be honest.
Say you're going up.
KJ, they tryna steal your flow.
Niggas set it off the way we blitz niggas. It's on the flow, we tryna take it all the way that lick different. Oh my god, we finna break him off the way that switch kicking. It hit his body, know it hit different. Body swimming like some fish, nigga. This ain't a myth, nigga. Brody know he poppin' shits, nigga. If we in the mix, nigga. Brody know he talking shit, nigga. Riding in the whip, nigga. Switching lanes and pulling skits, nigga.
I'm starting not to give a fuck about a bitch, nigga. Cause all they do is switch. I feel like a lunatic. I'm on the edge, I'm losing it. That little wop had grip. When I'm back on my bullshit, it's a marathon like Nip. To come back when you see me on my shit. Don't gotta ask, I stay with a full clip. I'm really not scared of shit. You could call me John Wick. For my dogs, I sick. I'll leave your mama sick. I'll push in your shit and do my time, I sit. I don't really like the trip, but I keep some monkey on my hip. I don't tell you off the rip. Don't fuck with niggas, that's it. Cause them niggas fugazi and them niggas know to switch.
Niggas set it off the way we blitz niggas. It's on the flow, we tryna take it all the way that lick different. Oh my God, we finna break him off the way that switch kicking. It hit his body, you know it hit different. Body swarming like some fish, nigga. This ain't a myth, nigga. Brody know he poppin' shits, nigga. If we in the mix, nigga. Brody know he talking shit, nigga. Riding in the whip, nigga. Switching lanes and pulling skits, nigga.
Say you're going up.
KJ, they tryna steal your flow.
I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around.
You say you love me, you let me down. I thought you was gonna be around. I thought you up, you left me down. You made me feel like a clown. Fuck that, ain't gon' just love me now. I'm feeling pain, I want you now. I put my love in this shit, you let me drown. But where are you now? All I ever wanted was me and you. I didn't know the money made you comfortable. When you said you was here for me, I didn't know. I just want you next to me like Juliet. Give you my all, and I'ma thug it out, they tryna see me fall. And you the one that's close to me, I had to cut her off. And now I'm all alone and shit just getting hard. Cause I just want you next to me when a nigga ball. I know this shit get crazy, they just hold me down. I know this shit get crazy, they just hold me down.
I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around.
When I was down, pull up on your block, what's happening now? Don't come around, you let me down. I'm lost but don't wanna be found. Girl, I need you, do you need me? Give me hugs and kisses when you see me. Trying to get over you, it's not that easy. If that pussy wet, then I'ma lick it cleanly. Yeah, yo, BD, cause a weenie. I got it on me, best believe me. Come and try me, you'll end up on the TV. Niggas can't see me, I'll call them Stevie. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around.
I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around. I thought you always be around.
I'll be right back when you need me. I've been on the road, but now I'm coming home. Oh, oh, I'll be right back when you need me. I've been on the road, but I'm coming home. Oh, oh.
Thug Simp out now, L4MAJE, Thug Simp, Lamar J, Thug Simp, out now. It's been a minute, I'm still thinking your smile. Will you be around through the ups and the downs? I held you up, but you let a nigga down. I'm a king, but I'll give you the crown. If you just stick around, head above water, why you making me drown? When I need you, you ain't never around. You always letting me down, I'm trying my best, what I gotta do now? Cause you different, I'm trying to keep you around. You just make me smile. I wanna know what you doing, who you thinking about, and who the fuck you screwing. If it ain't me, you know you taking the L. You still love me if I was dead or in jail. If it ain't me, then fuck wishing you well. Cause I remember all the times when I was making you yell. I gave it to you every day like mail. Come fuck with your boy, the mother niggas is still. Am I the only one that's taking these L's? I gave my heart to the bitch and all she did was fail. But I ain't worried about that shit, oh well. I wanna hop out of foreign at 5-star hotels. minute, I'll still think of your smile. Will you be around through the ups and the downs? I held you up, but you let a nigga down. I'm a king, but I'll give you the crown. If you just stick around, head above water, why you making me drown? When I need you, you ain't never around. You always letting me down. I'm trying my best, what I gotta do now? Cause you different, I'm trying to keep you around. You just make me smile. L4 Marjay, Thug Simp out now. Thug Simp on YouTube. L4 Marjay, L4 MAJE.
Know the pain that I felt. Thinking about you, Brody, got the blunt in my mouth. He was trying to kick it, choose a path, trying to find a way out. Walk the streets and hit the gas, we was thugging it out. We was some young niggas trying to figure it out. Yeah, they taking real niggas, got me losing it now. And I always said that we gon' ball. Get a bag, change scripts, and fuck them niggas involved. And you don't really know the pain that I feel. Trying to do it like Nip without signing a deal. But I'm stuck in the field, hella scarred to this shit. Yeah, this shit is for real. Rolling on me, trying to stop me, no, I stay with a steel. Pocket watching on the nigga, trying to rack up a meal. If he want it, let him have it, we be stepping for real. I'm not a killer, but got it on me, getting closer to hell. If he keep grinding with this shit, I might need Bill. Now you don't know the pain that I feel. Thinking about you lately, getting harder to chill. Reminiscing about the times, got me popping the pill. All the times we ain't have it, we was stuck in the field. All this drama, I'm going crazy, got me tripping for real. Cause I don't think you know how I feel. Your main homie switched lanes like he was signing a deal. He said he sacrificed his life, now he don't know how to feel. And all the shit you been doing, ain't no stopping from here. Tryna ball till I fall like LeBron, I'm the king. I go hard, no jersey when I step on the scene. I do it all with no luck, I'm blindside on the scene. And if you fucking with me, baby, don't make it harder for me. I do this shit out of love, ain't no target I see. And if you fucking with the ops, don't come running to me. I'm hella scarred through it all, ain't no more I can see. Thinking about you, Brody, got the blunt in my mouth. He was trying to kick it, choose a path, trying to find a way out. Walk the streets and hit the gas, we was thugging it out. We was some young niggas trying to figure it out. Yeah, they taking real niggas, got me losing it now. And I always say that we gon' ball. Get a bag, change scripts, and fuck them niggas involved.
Welcome back to Everything Sparkle. So now we have the kids involved, and now they're like music. What's going on?
Well, we did a drastic change. My son Marcano, he's producing now music. So basically, he produced L4 Marjay is the website to go on as far as his music. L4 Marjay.
Yeah, L4 Marjay, L4 MAJE on YouTube. So just look him up on there, and you'll see the latest news that we have going on.
And that's the only place we can get it? We can't get it on Spotify or anything?
No, we're not on Spotify yet. We're starting off with YouTube, you know, just to get our views up, and then we're going to switch to platforms. Now. Yeah, I know.
You did that on purpose, so we have to. We don't have an excuse.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
So where did all this come from? You're like the musical family now?
Well, I think that they always had a talent for music and stuff. They just kind of like kept it quiet because my kids are like quiet types. So they just kind of like starting to get it out with this 2023 going into 2024 to kind of make a little, you know, change and just get it out there and just, you know, see what you can do. You know, you never know.
Well, I love it. I really do. I mean, I think there's so much potential here to be like, to really go big time. Who writes everything?
Well, I mainly produce everything, all the songs that was playing. Me and my brother, we've been doing this like from the beginning, from scratch. Like from his first song, I just felt like I just got better ever since, you know. From his mixtape that I did, Thug Simp, that's on YouTube right now. Like you said, L4 Magic, go look it up, you know what I'm saying?
So you guys both write?
Yeah, and we had to add our sister in as well.
Yeah, so when I'm the hook, I'll either have my brother or him write the lyrics, but when we do like a song together, we'll all kind of individually, you know, write lyrics, share, you know, ideas. So it's kind of a group thing.
That's so cool. A lot of siblings don't even get along.
Yeah.
You know, right? Yeah, basically family business type stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we trying to stay a strong.
And it's really, and I say that because, you know, everyone thinks they can be, and I know the hard work, and I mean, I think you guys are great. You're the best talent I've heard in a long time.
Appreciate
on
it.
the stage, so.
Then
Well,
also,
kudos to you.
Also, oldest son, Poem L, the one that came the last time with us, he's not here, but he also does his music too. Yeah. And you can find him he's on Spotify.
Yeah, you can find him on
Is he kind of separate music? He doesn't do it with you guys?
Yeah, he kind of like separate with his stuff, but you know, he stay in contact sometimes.
Are you musical? Is that where they get it from, or?
Yeah, I know how to sing a little bit. No. I don't know how to sing that good, but I have a little talent. But my daughter, she can take over that talent in singing.
Yeah, she had her days, like back in the day. She was on that Snoop Dogg video, you know, that What Would You Do video?
Oh yeah.
What would you do? Yeah, so she had her time.
What?
Yeah.
You always hide all this stuff. There's always such new stuff going on.
Yeah, so she was kind of in the dancing, like.
Yeah, I was. It was a long time ago, but I was in the Snoop Doggy Dogg video.
That is
and
so
then
cool.
I was, Dr. Dre was like, I want her at the top. I'm like, okay. So, you know, back in the day, you're young and everything is exciting, but you look at it now and you're like, dang, I was really with them.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, they're gone now, but, you know, just the experience, you know, to be around people that.
In the video, she has on all white and she has her little curly, and she's on the top. So if you guys go view it, you'll be able to see her.
I totally am going to go view it now. Oh my goodness, that is so cool.
Yeah.
That's a little secret.
So are you still doing you're still doing the inspirational page?
Yes, I'm doing my page. I have some things going on.
So tell our viewers what the page is called.
It's called Nika's Inspiration. You can find it on Facebook. I'm up to almost 1,000 private. My page is private, so I'm private viewers. 7 moderators. Shout out to all my moderators, my group experts, and all my members have been great. It's growing a little bit. I'm kind of slacked off over it a little bit because I got a job. So
you've been busy.
Yeah, I've been busy. But my goal is to eventually have a talk show eventually, you know, but it takes time, you know. Everything happens in its own timing.
Right. So, no, so you guys are, just a little refresher about why you started it to the viewers. I
started it, it's been going on 3 years ago. There was some things that was going on in my life to where I just had to resort to like writing and then inspiring other people as well as myself. So that kind of drove me into making a page, and it started off with 124 members, and then every day it just grew. And now it's up to almost 1,000 private viewers. I have 7 moderators and like many group experts. So my moderators are great. Shout out to them. When I'm not on my page, they make sure my page
because there's so much.
There's so much to do. I mean, it's like a job if you want to keep it active.
Yeah, and every day having to give somebody some inspiration. But you've been doing a great job, and that's kudos to you getting a new job. I mean, that part of that was because, you know, weren't you having a hard time like working during that COVID period or whatever? Everyone lost their jobs.
Everyone lost their jobs, and it was hard financially and. You know, during that time, but you know, God made a way, and it's step by step, and then now it's just working long hours now. I'm just trying to make it, and my blessings is trying to make me rich.
We get forward with our opportunities that we do have. You know?
Yeah.
So how'd you get this job? Was it somebody in the group?
Oh no, it was. I went back to school. It's been years ago for a medical assistant, and I just applied one day. And not thinking I was gonna get it. I was just, you know, you just apply everywhere, just apply. And all of a sudden they call and I'm like, oh, that was fast. But prayers though. prayed on it, and it's like the perfect job. The pay, the benefits are awesome.
Everything's great except the hours, a little too long, right?
Yeah, after 8 hours, it's like, oh my goodness, I got 2 more hours. You know, you looking at the clock.
10-hour days are no joke.
Looking at the clock, you know, but you know, every day I get used to it. And I think about my kids. I gotta make this money for my kids.
And you guys are helping her out, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what's your guys' goal? So you do a little bit of fashion too, right?
Yeah, I had kind of put that to the side because I'm in school to be an esthetician. So I'm mainly like focusing on that first with lashes and everything, and then I was going to go back into the fashion and stuff, but I do have like things planned for that. I'm making my page right now for it, and then I should be getting like, I have one vendor that's like a wholesale, and they have like some cute clothes, but I'm still looking for vendors mainly, so I'm focused on that, and I'm focused on esthetician school, so I'm kind of doing
so
both
cool.
things. Yeah.
She got her little cards made. What is it, Last Genie?
The Last Genie.
Last Genie.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God. And then what about you? What are you up to now?
Me producing, making music, producing songs for people.
So you do this for you and your brother or sister, and then you are doing other people's tracks.
Yeah.
So do you have like a makeshift studio? Do you go into theirs? How do you do all that?
I got a home studio actually.
Yeah, home base. We have the mic and everything set up. So it's like a little booth in there. So for now it's home base, but in the future we'll definitely get our own studio.
And you keep adding a little bit to it to make it better. Oh wow, what a lot!
It's nice in there.
You guys are so
got the
ambitious.
little lights around.
Oh,
little
nice.
lights. Yeah.
So now you can have a place to do your show now, and eventually.
You know what? Like you said, start off somewhere.
You're busy though, man.
I know. It'll be But I can fit. That's a good idea though. What you said.
Right.
Start off and have him because he can do the stuff that Drew does. And all that stuff, he knows how to do all that stuff.
That's better than my setup during COVID because I had to like pretty much do the show out of my kitchen because every studio was closed. So I thought it's better than mine. Thank you guys so much for coming on my show. Tell everybody where they can follow you. Shout out your Instagrams and Facebook pages.
You go follow me at Kano_YP. You know what I'm saying? As far as me being a producer and stuff like that, if you want to go check me out, stuff like that, as far as my work, Kano_YP.
All right, and you can go follow my brother on YouTube at L4Maje, L4MAJE on YouTube. Don't forget, and you can follow me personally on Instagram, Shylyn, SHY_Lyn, LEN. And if you want to follow my esthetician page, it's called the SD Lounge.
And my page is just on Facebook. It's Nika's Inspiration, and then also Poem L as well. He's on Spotify.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. We missed you.
We missed you.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here. Oh, I must confess, dear. Don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do. And there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend, playing pretend, playing pretend, ooh, playing pretend.
It's a mystery.
Hi, I'm Sparkle Sujin, and I am the host of the Everything Sparkle Show. I would like to invite you to come and hang out with me every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, as I interview the world one guest at a time. Everything Sparkle is available on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and CMAC.tv. Plus, if you're in the Central California area, you can watch on Comcast Xfinity Channel 93 or AT&T UVerse Channel 99. Hope to see you there.